So we'll take the plastic off. I did not touch this. I did not open it. And I've had it since Wednesday last week. So that's the front of the box. Oh, we got this craziness on the screen again. Sorry about that. Can I get this off the screen? I can. Let's see. Let's pull it over there for right now. So that's the front of the box. That's the side of the box. It talks about some of the new features. So there's quite a few of them. We'll talk about those tonight. Here's the back of the box. It says it has the Insta360 Link, a magnetic mount, USB Type-C cable with the adapter to USB Type-A, recognition markers, though supposedly you don't need these on a whiteboard. Quick start guide and warranty card. Top of the box says Insta360. Let's see. Others have that size chip. This has a 1/2-inch chip, same size as the Insta360 Link #1. So don't think it has a bigger chip. So that's that side of the box, and this is this side of the box. And again, it talks about the other features, bottom of the box. And like I said, we've already showed the back of the box. So that's all of it. So let's open it up. And there we go. Set this aside. So you have the camera right here with the plastic on it. You have this little box. This is the magnetic base, and it magnetizes on, and it's got the ability, it's got plastic on it. So we'll take that off, and this wraps around this base, and this is pretty heavy. This is like aluminum, so it's not plastic. And then it says adjust the angle as needed. So we'll pull this little lever off of the magnet. There you go. That's the magnet. We'll throw those away. And it has a little a nut here. So it looks like, yeah, this will go either way to adjust the angle of the camera. This is designed to either mount like this, which is how I do it with the quarter mount. But you can also put this on your monitor, and then you can also adjust the angle. So we'll set this down for a second. Pull the camera. Well, let's see what's underneath here. Underneath this box shows you a picture. And there are two versions of this, one with the gimbal and one without. I'll show you a picture of that in a minute. We're not unboxing the one that has the no gimbal. We're unboxing the one with the gimbal. So when you get it, it is covered with plastic, both down here and up there. So we're going to pull this plastic off. And then you have contacts right there. And that is magnetized. So we'll figure out how to do that in a minute, but that's how we're going to mount it tonight. Then we will pull this off. And so there you have a look at it. Get it out of the glare there. Again, you got these contacts on the bottom. So you guys can see that. I have more light on that side. And then there's the size of it. The back says Insta360 on it. And again, you have a gimbal. It moves this way and this way. So, and then also you can use this portrait. So we will figure out how to do all of that. Also in the box is the getting started guide. You have stickers right there, the clear white stickers. Hopefully you guys can see that. This camera is supposed to focus like that. There you go. Here's the little booklet. Getting started guide, lots of information there. Different languages, obviously. And again, you got a barcode there you can scan. Got a barcode there you can scan. And then you have the USB-C cable. and it's in this handy dandy container to keep it all nicely spiroed. And again, it's USB-C. It actually has Insta360 on it. Not sure if you guys can see that, if that will focus. There you go. So that's on this. So it is about a foot shorter than my wingspan. And then also in here is the USB-A to USB-C adapter, and then one of these little babies to keep the moisture out of the case. And that's it in the box. So we're going to throw these little plastic things away. We'll put these back in the box. Going to keep the guide out. And then also in the box, don't need this any longer. Don't want to throw anything away by accident. So we have the cable in the box. We have the magnet attachment in the box. And again, this thing moves to adjust. Then you got the adapter. You have these little markers. Again, it's supposed to be able to do the whiteboard effect without these little markers. I have a whiteboard in the studio with the markers already on it, and I'm going to peel them off tonight, but I have an extra set if needed. I don't know if this is designed to calibrate it. Go figure. But it says it can do it without that. So obviously, we need to figure out how this goes together. So I'm guessing you put this little mark forward. If this is designed to go on an attachment, it looks like it. Maybe a handheld attachment. We'll look at the website to see if something's coming out later. But there isn't nothing that matches that on here. And so again, this would go on this way, I believe. Let's try this again. Open this up. So it would go on like this. And it is a very strong magnet. So there's what this looks like with this attached. And again, it is adjustable. Okay, so that's it with the overhead camera. Let's come back this direction and I'll let you guys see it in my hand. So here is the original software, and I wanted you guys to see this. Let's see if this will increase the size. And right now you can see if I go up here to the three dots, it's going to tell me about that there is a new version 1.4.1. Download, that's what I'm using. And you can download version 2.0.1. So they've already done an update since the release of the camera, because version 2 was the original release, and now it's version 2.1. So we're going to hit the download button right now. Here, it's starting the install. Yes. Well, just so you can see the steps, it's asking me what language, English. Yes, I accept and agree. Next. That's the location. You can change the location if you want to. Create a desktop shortcut. For sure, I want that. Hit install. And the following applications are using files that need to be updated by setup. It is recommended that you allow setup to automatically close these applications. Do not close, yes. So it's going to automatically close those applications. So it's shutting them down. So now it's installing. This is what popped up on my screen. So it says, are you willing to assist us? Disagree. Welcome to Insta360 Link controller. get started easily in just a few steps. So I have not changed cameras yet, so let's change cameras. Do you want to allow this app? Yes. Yes. Let's go. Okay, so you can see now that it says switch effortlessly between various modes. Next, easily adjust this view. Yes. Save your preferred positions, zoom settings, and modes for easy. So you can actually save these in your memory. Next. Modify your look with blur, bokeh, and background replacement. That's under the effects menu. Easily control the device using gestures. There's your gestures. This is AI tracking, I guess. This is whiteboard. And this is zoom. And you go up and down for zoom. Next, connect your phone to remotely control the device. We talked about that. If you need to step away temporarily, you can manually tilt the gimbal down 90 degrees to enter privacy mode. Finished. So there's the options, and there is the camera with no adjustments. So let's bring this up full size, this view. So let's go to about Insta360 instant versus, so update now. So I got to update the firmware. So I'm updating the firmware in the camera. Again, all live. None of this was scripted. Hit update. My camera went down into sleep mode. Firmware transfer is in progress. And we're at 0%, 1%. Looks like it's going to happen pretty fast. So we'll be falling back. Looks like the firmware is updated. That's it. Okay, so we got it. There you go. It's a little overexposed. I'm just looking at this picture right now. The settings down here, you have to turn off preview. So this button's changed a little bit. So that turns preview on and off, and then it has this crazy promotional still image instead of black now. You can change the resolution. So here's the resolutions, 4K, 1080, 30 frames, 720p. So let's turn 4K 30 on, see what happens to the picture. Picture's pretty much the same. So portrait resolution and high frame rates is disabled. Low resolution is disabled, so you can turn portraits and things on. I'm not going to turn those on for tonight's live stream. You can see over here under the more, you have the gestures are all turned on. You could turn those gestures on and off by clicking the button. You can turn gestures, all of them off by sliding the little bar here. Audio mode for voices. Again, this is new. We'll have to see if it works on the Insta360 Link at a later time. But this is, I think, mainly for version 2. So you got voice suppression, voice focus, music balance, and then you can click on the little question mark to tell you what those do. Voice focus eliminates ambient noise. Voice suppression filters out other voices. So if you're doing a Zoom call and you don't want other people's voices coming through, that's available on both the Link 2C and the new Link gimbled Link 360 Link 2. And the last one's music balanced. Balance your voice with music so you can have music playing. Other settings, horizontal flip, vertical flip, smart adjustments, smart adjustments. Once activated, the device will search for your head within a small range and adjust to the optimal angle. So again, if you're using it in your office and it's on your computer or your laptop or wherever it is mounted in the office, then you could use this to find you and frame you. So you're not having to move your chair, let the camera adjust for you. So mute in privacy mode, so you can turn the audio off. Once enabled, rotate the gimbal 90 degrees downward to enter privacy mode. Now the Link 2C has a little camera, a little button on the side that closes the camera. So it's got like a shutter that closes. So that's really cool. So you have to manually do that. You flip it down if you want to make it private if you have this version that I have. Again, so portrait resolution at high frame rates, that can be turned on, enabling portrait resolution at high. So basically, it's going to keep that 4K frame rate and then just flip the camera to portrait mode. So it's not doing any cropping to do portrait, which is really cool. Enable low resolution. So enable the low resolution specification. So that would be down the 360p. I don't know why anybody would want to have a 360p camera, but evidently that's included. On the bottom, you also have AI tracking, the whiteboard mode. So let's click on this right now and see what happens. It just scanned the room and it popped in. So we're going to go over there in a minute and take those off and see what happens. So let's get out of whiteboard mode. Let's turn that off. And then you have smart whiteboard mode. And I think smart whiteboard mode is supposed to do it without those buttons. But let's click on it and see what happens with those little markers on there. So use the whiteboard, rescan. So this is where you can shape things. So use whiteboard. How to use whiteboard feature in third-party software. First, turn off the preview in Link controller, then select Insta360 virtual camera in the third-party software to output, and then hit the Insta virtual camera. Got it? So you could actually use this when you're on a Zoom call, which is really cool. You just have to mute the camera and then choose the smart whiteboard mode. Let's just get it in the frame. Let's zoom out a little bit. And then let's hit smart whiteboard again while you guys are watching. And then you can rescan or use that whiteboard. So then you'd have to have the software open and then you'd have to cut to it in your virtual software or your OBS or your Zoom. So pretty impressed. No little corner pieces on there. I didn't have to use them. So if you want to use regular whiteboard mode, you're going to have to use these. But if you don't want to use these, you do have this new smart whiteboard mode, and I think that's pretty cool. Desk view, let's see what happens when I do desk view right here. But let me bring these over. Need to go up. So that is desk view, and that's on the bottom here as well. Now I noticed that there was another setting in my Insta360 Link. So this may not have all of the options that the other one has, but it does have the tilt mode that's built into it. So I'll have to mount it on a pole and see how that compares to my Insta360 Link. So right now it's on voice focus. You have other settings, horizontal flip, vertical flip, smart adjustments. Let's do horizontal flip. There you go. Let's turn that off. Let's do vertical flip. And then obviously you have smart adjustments, mute, privacy, portrait, resolution, and high frame, and we talked about those. So here's that effects panel. So you can adjust exposure. You can turn on autofocus to manual. Temperature, that would be your color temperature in the room. You have color presets. That's something that's new. So I could add a color preset. So let me change the temperature to manual. Let's make it super warm. And then add that preset. So now let's click on them. There's one, and there's the other one. So now you have the ability to set presets. So let's say you have one for morning in your studio because you got sun shining in, and then you have one for evening. You could actually have those settings. So you can have these, I don't know how many we can do. Let's click on it. Plus, 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 show them all. Plus, plus, plus. That's it. So you have 8 options for different exposures. And then you also have the ability to background blur. Let's turn desk view off. Let's go back to the regular color temperature. Let's drag this over and let's use Alt, the plus, to zoom in to my Vault-Tec guy. Exposure's a little hot, so let's bring this down just a little bit. I do have a big light on my Vault-Tec guy. Let's bring the exposure down, and let's right-click on these, trash can, right-click, trash can, right-click, trash can. What is this? It resets it. So that's the preview. So there's a little icon on the bottom that resets it, and there's one on top for a trash can. So if you want to reset this, you can just by clicking on it. That's really cool. So let's look at background blur. So there you go. Little bit of thing happening here on the bottom. I don't know if you can fine tune that. Video stuttering detected. We recommend switching to a lower resolution and frame rate. So let me, and I did not use the cable that came with it, so I apologize. Let's go back to 1080p, 30. So then you have this makeup setting. Let's do one more background. Here's bokeh. So the bokeh setting lets you blur out the background. So there you have it with it at 100%, and here you have it at 0%, and here's halfway for bokeh. So you can see that the robot is slowly coming out of focus. So it's kind of like a 1.8 bokeh. I don't know what it's doing digitally to make that happen. But again, you have those settings, different types of backgrounds that you can put my Vault-Tec guy on. And I don't see any ability to adjust the settings for, you need to have a green screen behind you to make this work really well. You can see it's not cutting them out very well. So I do have an Elgato green screen I could put behind me, but we'll do that on another night. Okay, the last thing here is the makeup mode. Let's see what it does to my little Vault-Tec guy's face. Does it adjust anything on his face? That's blush. Let's zoom in a little bit more. Alt plus. I don't know if it's going to use his face, but let's go back to effects. Let's try some rose, intensity. Yeah, I'll have to use that on my face to get it to work. So you have that mode. Let's scroll down to this page. And then you have these different filters. So you actually have portrait, daylight, vintage. So you actually have some filters that you can put over your camera, and they are working on the camera. Here's vintage. Here is vintage 2. Here is neon. Here is clear. Here is portrait again. So there you go. You do have the ability to do a still image. So I can do a screenshot, and that's going to tell you where it's going. It's going to my user picture file. I can open that, and then I can also record video from this app. And this is going into my video. You can see it's recording. It's telling me how much time it's been recording. So if I wanted a recording in my Vault-Tec, and again, I'm holding my mouse down, and I'm with the left mouse button, and I'm dragging this around so I could drag to different places. And I'm recording this. I can hit stop. So in an emergency, if your ATEM stopped and you were casting from OBS, you could go back into the control software, use the microphone on the Insta360 Link or another microphone that's coming into your computer, and you will record real quickly on your computer. And I did this a couple times after the event was over at the tent. I just wanted to capture some people coming and going. I actually recorded in OBS, but you could also record right in the, this software. Okay, the more screen, AI tracking, the voice stuff. the view screen right here. So ordinary speed, you've got AI zoom you can turn on and off. Here's your presets that you can do. So I can drag and drop and create some presets. I love that it gives me a picture now rather than a name. So that's pretty cool. You can zoom in and zoom out. You can also, it looks like there is somehow you can mess with the aperture. I don't know how to do that, but it tells me it's at 2.8 right now. You have pause track area. Go to those settings. So here is pause track area. It is recommended to draw a panorama for better viewing. So let's do plus. Let's draw this around there. Can I shrink it? Yes. And so hit enter maybe. That's one. Let's do another one. Let's see if that goes up there. And then pause track areas. Unpause. So let's close that. So it should be tracking those. Tracking AI zoom. Pause track areas disabled. Ordinary tracking speeds. So that's for quickly tracking or slowly tracking. We'll do face track here in a minute. We're going to turn that on. And then tap the touch once to enter. Let's see what this says. To enter or exit AI tracking. So I could just track the camera. So let's zoom out. Okay. It's on face tracking, and it says I can tap the front of the camera. There you go. It is tracking me. I still have one of those color settings on, but here is the intelligent tracking. It's doing pretty good. I like it. See if I'll duck here a little bit. It's following me. Jump up. It's got me. I'm going to back up. Zoom in. It's keeping me in frame, depending on what setting I have. And this is the head setting. So that's really cool. What's going to happen when I go back to the desk? It's going to try to go until it can't go anymore. Hi, camera. And it lost me because it won't turn all the way around like that. Okay, so let's go back to this view. And so what I want to do now is I want to go into a 4-box. 3 camera views. The one on the bottom left with my logo in front of it. Let's turn that off here real quick. That is the Insta360, the original one. And the one on the right is the new Insta360 Link version 2. Let's go back into the effects settings and let's go back to default there. Let's go back to no filter. There we go. And under more, let's see. Maybe it's under effects. We're a little overexposed. So let me just bring this down just a little bit. Let's open up the other software. And I have compensation on that a little bit. I'm going to turn it down about the same. There you go. So there's side-by-side pictures. Not quite the same location, but now I'm using OBS to show you both of those. So there's the image. They look very similar to me. So there's new features in the camera. And So if I just wanted to go to a different view, let me find them here real quick. So there's that overhead view. Here's the other preset that we made. I could move it up to Batman and zoom out a little bit. Set another preset for Batman. And now I could switch from those views. Again, it's set for 1080p right now, not 4K. Go back to Batman. Okay, here is a side-by-side comparison of the Insta360 Link 1 and the Insta360 Link 2. And you can see right now that on the bottom of the software above me, you can see they're different. One says AI tracking, whiteboard, overhead, and desk view. That's the Insta360 Link version 1. And then the other one you can see says AI tracking, whiteboard, smart whiteboard, and desk view. New Insta360 Link 2 only has 2 gimbals. The Insta360 Link 1 has 3 gimbals. That's why it's a little bit more money. And I like it way better as an overhead camera. And I'm going to try to explain to you why right now. So I'm using desk view for the Insta360 Link 2. And I'm using overhead, the setting that you can use in the Link version 1. And so let's play with that a little bit. So if I want to reposition it, I can show you my monitor. I can even come all the way back to me. I can rotate this right. I can rotate this left. And so all by holding my mouse down in the middle of the software, and you can see my mouse there. And so I can do all those adjustments, which is great. Then we'll go over here to the new Link number 2 and do the same thing. I can rotate. You can see it's kind of janky because it doesn't have that extra gimbal. So I can rotate this way, but when I rotate, I kind of lose it. It gets choppy. Then all of a sudden, it pops out of the desk view. So I don't know if they can fix this in firmware, but I just wanted to make everybody aware there is a major difference. 3 gimbals compared to 2. A lot of people think that's just for turning to portrait mode. That's what I see on most of the videos that I've been watching on YouTube. I wanted to make this little segment to let you know that they are entirely different cameras. So you decide if you want to invest in a new one. It's less expensive now at $200, so it is a great buy. And well, that's it. I'm Keith. This is Life Journey Production Studios. And with that, I will say peace and good night, and we'll see you next week or in a video on my channel very soon.